Hello, everyone. I see people are starting to connect already. We have a great presentation prepared for you today. I'm going to give some time for people to connect like I always do, but I appreciate your patience and we'll get started very shortly. Welcome in everybody who's connecting. Just another minute or two here before we get things started. Feel free to use the chat and/or Q&A throughout the presentation. It'll be available, and I'll mention that again before we get started. It's 12 now, but again, just another minute because I know people take a little bit longer sometimes to connect than others, so I want to give them an opportunity to join in on time as well. All right, that should be enough time. Let's get things started. Hello, everyone. My name is William Mucker. I am a client executive with Camaplan, and I would like to thank you all for joining us for today's webinar, The Secrets to Creating 3 Paydays per Deal Without Cash, Credit, or Banks, with Zachary Beach, CEO of SmartRealEstateCoach.com. As a quick note, please be aware that Zach will be answering questions at the end of the presentation. However, feel free to use the chat and/or Q&A function on your screen to pose your questions whenever they cross your mind. They will be saved and addressed once the presentation portion ends and the Q&A portion begins. Before we get started, we do have a brief disclosure to go through. Everything presented in today's webinar is strictly for educational purposes. Camaplan is a neutral third-party administrator of IRAs. We are not attorneys, CPAs, or financial advisors. If it comes to a time where you need advice in any one of those fields, we highly recommend you consult with your team of professionals. We are more than happy to be a part of the dialogue with your team of professionals to make sure the investment process is quick and seamless. We do not sell any investments at Camaplan, nor do we endorse any products. We will never call you about the next best investment opportunity. We believe that you should always do your own due diligence before investing your money, whether it be your retirement funds or otherwise. Once you have found the investment that is right for you, we will help you open your account, fund that account, and facilitate the transaction into that investment. Here is my contact information if you or anyone who you know that you believe can benefit from the information have any questions about what is discussed in the presentation today and how it applies to self-direction, please do not hesitate to contact me. I would be more than happy to help. And without further ado, I'll pass the controls over to you, Zach.
Hey, well, I appreciate you very much. I actually remember meeting Carl at an event at the BP RIA down in Florida. If you wouldn't mind, I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll start getting rolling. But I know when me and Carl, we had a great conversation. We thought it made a ton of sense to go ahead and share this presentation with each and every one of you because, number one, if you're here because you're interested in investing in real estate, or two, actively, or two, is you're interested in investing passively, we have an amazing opportunity for you here today as well. Couple brief disclosures. I'm from Massachusetts, so I'm going to talk fast. Will also stated that I had a short period of time, so I'm going to cram a longer presentation into a short one because I want to really give you a ton of benefit when it comes to buying and selling real estate without cash, credit, or banks. And then also, I can tell you that buying real estate with creative financing and on terms, isn't osmosis. So what I'll do is at the end of this, I'll give you the ability to get a free course, or also I'll give you some opportunities on how to work with us directly and how to buy real estate. And I can literally get in the trenches with you, because today we're only going to talk about the exact strategies that we use here inside our Wicked Smart community at smartrealestatecoach.com. So none of this will actually be theory. So at the end of here, I'll make sure that you get access to our Wicked Smart Toolkit, which will contain scripts, our Amazon best-selling book, live seller calls, lead generation tools, and our exact step-by-step process on acquiring real estate deals as well. So as I mentioned, this would be for anybody here interested in supplemental income when it comes to adding this into what you're currently doing. Two is replacement income. So if you're interested in actually retiring from your current W-2 job, we help people do that on a consistent basis. I actually have a room of about 5 or 6 people that we worked with to accomplish this just in the room next door to us. Interested in IRA or covered out, or perfect for Gamma Plan here, I'll share with you a deal at the end. It was actually a commercial building that we did with that. No, I lied. It was a small multifamily that we utilize that as well. Or if you're interested in buying your own home, because I myself needed these types of strategies when I was leaving my bartender and personal training to become a investor. Me and my wife actually could not qualify for bank loans at the time, so we ended up utilizing these creative strategies to purchase our first home, and we were lucky enough to live in it, and then eventually exit out of it for about $113,000, which we rolled into our next property as well. This is not for anybody that's not coachable, that doesn't like to speak with people, needs cash like they need water, or if they have mismanaged expectations. Because at the end of the day, when we're talking about investing in real estate, especially actively versus passively, this can be simple, but it's not always easy as well. So some promises for this workshop is I'm going to show you how to utilize our federally trademarked 3 payday system to consistently buy real estate deals. Show you a predictable, improved, and scalable business model. And I'll also share with you some sample deals here as well, so that way you can see how this cash flows. So we got here because my father-in-law, Chris, was a broker owner, did fix and flips, raise the roof projects, you name it. But in 2008, he got absolutely crushed in this. He was in the middle of 23 condo conversions that went down to about 50%. He ended up creating this new business model utilizing these strategies, which I'm going to share with you here today. I personally was a bartender and personal trainer and just wanted to escape my current circumstances. I did that about 10 years ago, and haven't looked back since when it comes to investing in real estate. So I'm gonna share with you and really create this bridge here for you today, so that way you can create profitable income from these real estate deals, like our friend here, Claudia, who invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into other coaching programs, got zero returns, but instead, when she joined us, we helped her gain about $400,000 by utilizing these strategies. And really, all these strategies were built upon solutions to the current traditional way of buying and selling real estate: rental properties, fix and flips, wholesaling. We've done them all, but there's lots of risks and challenges that come with those, like personally signing and guaranteeing on loans, or using your own money for down payments, or begging investors for money, or maintenance and repairs, hiring contractors. At the end of the day, it ends up becoming small checks. So instead, what we did is we solved these challenges, or what we went out and started searching for is solving these challenges. So we could actually help buyers and sellers get what they want, not just what we want. Because there's a large portion of sellers out there that are having challenges, or just simply want to maximize their cash out of the current properties that they have. And there's a huge portion of Americans that cannot qualify for traditional loans. And it's roughly 80% of buyers out there cannot qualify for bank loans. So if you're looking to serve an underserved market, I'm going to share with you here today how to make that extremely profitable by solving problems. And we do that by our rent-to-own model. Now, if you've heard of rent-to-own, I promise you're not doing it the exact same strategies that we're doing here, because our success rate is significant. Now, the theory is it's just a program to help people go from not being bankable to becoming bankable. But we have a step-by-step process where we have roughly an 80% success rate to help buyers actually go and qualify for those loans. See, because there's a new way of actually doing business nowadays. So instead of only getting paid one time on every single deal you do, or simply just get cash flow, or just do the appreciation method, I'm going to show you how to get paid 3 times on every single deal. And I'm also sharing with you how you can actually get into these deals with very small amounts of down payments, if any. Because we buy creatively, we actually go ahead and sell on rent to own. We're now able to sell creatively as well, which allows us to tap into 3 distinctive income streams, or our federally trademarked 3 payday system. So payday number 1 is, once we place a buyer in our house that can't qualify for a loan, they're going to come to the table with a large non-refundable deposit, which I'll share with you some numbers here in a second. We're also then going to create monthly cash flow. Now, this is completely passive because we are not landlords. We are simply collecting a check from our buyers because they act like and are treated like a homeowner. Then payday 3 is there's going to be a certain amount of equity that's built into the property, which will happen sometime in the future. Once that buyer qualifies for a loan, now we're going to receive our 3rd payday, which is the equity that comes out of the deal. So if you're currently investing in real estate and sometimes you just don't know how to go ahead and exit out on some of these other strategies, rent to own is an amazing way to create additional income from deals that may not make sense in your traditional box. So this is some of our personal numbers. Again, your numbers may vary. Our average non-refundable deposit is roughly $27,000. Our average cash flow per deal is about 308, and our average equity that we build in over a 24 to 48 month period is roughly 35,000. So it ends up becoming roughly $75,000 over the course of about 24 to 48 months. Now, this is a 20 deal look back, so that way you can see what your potential portfolio can look like. We were able to create $1.6 million in paydays over the course of 12 months with 20 deals. Full disclosure, it wasn't our first 20 deals. But as you build up your portfolio, this is certainly how it can come together. Because this is extremely predictable, right? As long as you understand your numbers, as long as you're able to set goals and then back out those numbers, and then create a necessarily daily plan in order to reach those. So if we're utilizing our numbers, here's an example on how to work through this. If your goal is to make $250,000 a year, and if we're just using our non-refundable deposits, because that's going to be the big lump sums that come in right when you place a buyer in the house, it's roughly $25,000. We're going to need roughly 10 deals this year in order to reach that goal. And that's not including when the deals cash out or the monthly cash flow. So we need 10 deals. It's going to take us roughly 40 leads or 40 prospects in order to get there per deal. We're going to need 400 leads that year. Now, that may be a big number or feel like a big number, but when you're utilizing our systems and processes, virtual assistants, we can accomplish that in a relatively short period of time, which just really boils down to about 9 to 10 leads per week. Ask me how I know this. We've been doing this for almost 75 years. When it comes to our experience. And even our coaches have at least 4 years of experience specifically in this creative financing niche. And I'll share with you how you can work with them here towards the end as well. So what is actually buying and selling on terms then, or creative financing? It means no banks, no large down payments, especially in comparison to the traditional market. And you're never going to personally sign or guarantee debt. We've done hundreds upon hundreds of these deals. There's not a single property that we have done that we had to personally sign and guarantee that debt on, which can absolutely allow you to sleep at night, especially if you've ever been through any transitional markets. The 3 ways in which we buy, which we'll hit today, is owner financing, buying properties subject to the existing loan, and lease purchases. So first and foremost, owner financing. This is an amazing opportunity because there's roughly 40% of properties in the United States that are debt-free. These are perfect examples for owner financing. Because what you're simply doing is you're going to close on it. The seller is going to become your bank. And then you're going to make monthly payments to your seller. And then eventually you're going to go ahead and cash out that seller. We've gotten deals, including this one, at a 0% interest rate. Let me show you how this one broke down. So we bought this property. This property was on the market with an agent. It expired. So we ended up purchasing the property for roughly $400,000. We sold it for $429,000, and we had a 48-month balloon. We're making monthly installments of basically $1,000 a month. And then we were going to pay off the remaining balance of the balloon. So let's look how this broke down. This particular buyer was self-employed. He came to the table with $40,000 up front and then $40,000 over time. He was making a payment to us at $1,750, and we were covering our $1,200 a month. Our monthly cash flow on this was $550, so that's $26,000 in cash flow over the 48 months. We increased our price because our buyers are willing to pay, willing and able to pay a premium on the house because they are able to lock in their price for a certain period of time, which eventually they will go get their loan and cash us out. If you look at this, it was because we were paying $1,000 a month towards the principal balance of that loan, we were able to build in $48,000 in equity on this deal, which is drastic in comparison to today's current interest rates and how much principal pay down goes down. So I'm going to show you between this strategy and the next strategy, how to get access to 5% interest rates or less. And this one at a 0% interest rate, of course, that's an absolute home run there as well. So throughout this deal, in 48 months, we were able to create $109,000 with a zero investment at the beginning. We only paid transfer tax on this property. We were able to also help a gentleman, Mike, who's out of Fresno, who actually is one of our coaches now, create his first creative financing deal or seller financing deal with a total profit of about $68,000. The second strategy that we're doing, which in my opinion could be one of the most powerful strategies in today's market because of the current interest rates, is buying a property subject to the existing loan. So let me walk you through this. So this is when you actually purchase a property that currently has a mortgage on it. And when you close on it, the mortgage remains in the seller's name, title transfers to your company, then you make payments on the seller's behalf. Now, if you look at some of these stats, it's roughly 9 out of 10 interest rates are about 6% or less. And 4 out of 5 houses are 5% or less. So let me walk you through this deal here. So this was a property that was on the market at one point in time. We bought it for $273, plus it had a HUD lien on it. We went and sold it for $370. Now, this particular gentleman was in banking for a long period of time, and he had no idea that these strategies actually existed. So when he was on the market, he was expecting to pay roughly $15,000 to $17,000 out of pocket just to sell his house. We said no, so we went ahead and structured this deal with him, and then went ahead and cashed out with a tenant buyer and made roughly $101,000 from this deal. So we had a $30,000 non-refundable deposit, $4,100 in cash flow, and we had a $66,000 in equity. And I'm actually going to share with you the HUD right here, because if you look at this particular property, this is the HUD statement, the closing document. Once we had a buyer get to the table, we sold it for $370. It was actually $77,000 on the back end. Again, little to no money down, just paid transfer fees. And most importantly, we solved a major challenge for the seller, which was he didn't have to come out of pocket in order to actually sell this property. If you're doing wholesaling, our friend Sergio out of Florida was averaging roughly $4,000 net on all of his wholesale deals. We showed him how to do this, and actually on this first deal, he was able to net about $50,000 in total profits. The last strategy we use is a lease purchase. Now, a lease purchase is simply just controlling the asset from the seller. Now, I know I'm going over many strategies in a very short period of time. I did warn you from Massachusetts. Know that I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple different ways in order to continue your education or to potentially even work with us at the end. So some of this, just because we're going fast, may go right over your head. No, this is just going to take time in order to continuously go through these different strategies. So a lease purchase, title does not transfer. Make payments on the seller's behalf, but you do protect yourself with a by clouding the title with a notice of option or a memorandum of real estate based upon the area in which you're in. Here's a deal we actually got from a realtor referral. I don't know if there's any realtors in the room, but you have certainly an advantage if you're a realtor in structuring these deals, because you have lots of opportunity of presenting multiple options to different sellers based upon their current situation. So we got this referral. We bought it for $283. We sold it for $329. We got $24,000 from a non-refundable deposit. We collected $18,000 over the course of the 36-month in cash flow, and we built in roughly $38,000 in equity, which brought us about roughly an $80,000 deal. This is another gentleman. He actually utilized just our course and was able to go ahead and collect $20,000 down on a lease purchase by just simply following this deal down in New Jersey. So if all these strategies actually solve sellers' challenges, then which challenges specifically are we talking about? So I'm going to share with you a couple of them, but that doesn't mean that it's all of them. So number one is sellers are interested in maximizing their price. So if they actually went and sold on the traditional market with an agent, that's 5%, plus you had closing costs, and very likely that they don't even get the 100% of their purchase price. So you're seeing a significant amount of money that they can save from these deals. We help them maximize their price. We help them with cash flow. If somebody that's a tired landlord, we could show you how to make consistent money without dealing with tenants, toilets, and trash. Estate and tax planning as well. I'm going to share with you a commercial deal that we did at the end where the seller was begging for seller financing because of estate and tax planning purposes. And then, of course, other personal reasons, death, divorce, relocation, many others. So how do we find these sellers then? We find them from expired listings, so people that were on the market at one point in time, for sale by owners, niche lists, referrals from realtors, wholesalers, fix and flippers, you name it, local networking groups. There are so many ways in order to consistently find these sellers. So if we do on the flip side, though, why would these buyers then benefit from selling for us selling on rent to own? Number one is they get to enjoy the home during the lease period. They get to have time to qualify for that mortgage or just save more. They need credit repair or credit enhancement. They get to lock in their price today so they get depreciation. And if you're looking for a long-term strategy as well, you can also owner finance them as well, which we certainly do. So some of these buyers are people that are self-employed, had a legitimate hiccup in their credit, had a job change, sideline buyers, which means they're never going to qualify for a loan anyways, or let's just talk about all the buyers that are out there that could qualify for a loan at 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 7%, and then they can't qualify now based on their debt to income ratio. These are amazing buyers for your strategies. So we find these buyers from a couple different places, online marketing, even local signs. One of the first deals we ever did was a mason. He drove by this house day in and day out when it was listed with an agent and did not call on that property. As soon as we placed a rent-to-own buyer sign in the yard, they went ahead and called us. $20,000 check we were able to create within 14 days because that buyer went ahead and utilized our rent-to-own program. And then, of course, referrals as well. If you're interested in buying any other asset classes like multifamily, then here's another strategy. So you can buy these deals creatively, like seller financing, which we bought for $259. It's a 4-unit building. We created a $1,000 principal only payment. We had $735 in cash flow. Our exit strategy, though, different from rent to own. It's going to go ahead and we're going to pay down debt and then wait for the market to continue to appreciate, increase NOI. So if you're interested in getting involved in these multifamilies, then here you go. Now you can just create more strategies to acquire more real estate, because we all know when we talk about commercial assets, it's very hard to go get commercial loans at this point in time. So here's what this deal ends up looking like. This was IRA invested with an IRA owned LLC. We're able to create about $104,000 from that deal. Now, this was our commercial building that we went ahead and bought as well. This seller was asking for seller financing. This was a commercial building. We bought it for $550,000. We put some money into it, $35,000 of down payment. We, of course, increased the rents in the property. We went ahead and we had a 5.21% interest rate. We went ahead and sold it in September of 2023. So 5 years later for $1.2 million on this deal as well. So if you're just looking for new strategies to increase your portfolio or increase your cash flow, because my guess is you guys are all savvy investors here being on CamaPlan, we have a solution for you to really be able to dive into buying more real estate. Because if you have the ability to invest in real estate, or if you choose not to put down your own money, I can tell you that utilizing these creative financing strategies can certainly increase your portfolio drastically. So here's a solution for you. We call it the 3 Paydays Apprentice Program. So, and at the end, I'll make sure you guys get access to some free material. It's all going to be on the same link. So within this 3 Paydays Apprentice Program, you're going to get access to, first and foremost, our QLS Home Study course, which we sell for $1,500. I have been for over 10 years, and we just updated it to QLS 4.0. Now it comes with within the course, there's a handful of modules. It's roughly 11 modules, which I'll briefly go through here so that way we can save some time for Q&A. Mod 1 is all about implementing the course, creating trackable and predictable systems, all of your lead generation tools in order to go out there and consistently create deals, all the scripts you need in order to communicate with sellers, how to structure a sign out deals, which we didn't talk about here, but that's the 4th way you can make large lump sums. Secrets to working on our owner financing deals where sellers your bank. Then controlling assets without ownership through lease purchases and selling on rent to own. How to structure these subject to deals and getting access to 5% interest rates or less, which we're consistently doing. And then how to actually sell these properties on rent to own to start getting checks in hand and really start dialing in the 3 Payday system. And then, of course, understanding which strategy to use and when. And then all of our contracts, checklists, which we spent well over $20,000. So if you just signed up for this just to get access to all of our contracts, trust me, you've already won. And then you get certified with the Creative Financing Real Estate Association. There's actually a gentleman in the other room. We have our highest end clients come up here for the last 2 days, and he's actually gotten multiple deals over his competition because he has the authority by being certified in the Creative Financing Association. So you get access to that once you go through our course. We want to get you a free ticket to our upcoming live event in Boston, where we bring in roughly 140 to 150 creative financing real estate investors. We all get together and we dive in deeper into these strategies. So you get access to that ticket. Just make sure you claim it. Every single Thursday, we walk through active deals within our community and outside our community, and we bring in trusted advisors, which such as Camaplan. That's on Thursday. That's a $2,500 value. But this is the real kicker. You're going to get 12 weeks of group coaching where you have five calls every single week, where you have the mastermind. We can make live calls to your sellers, office hours, associate mastermind call, which is all of our community members all across the board, and get access to our Slack channel. So you always will have access to a coach for the full 12 weeks to help you implement these exact strategies. This isn't about learning. This is about implementing consistently. And then you'll also get access to a $2,500 ticket to come to a 3-day in-person event here at our office in Newport, Rhode Island, where we'll spend 3 immersive days working on your business, helping you attract sellers, literally make live calls to your sellers, deal structure so that we get the most amount of profits per deal, completely hands-on, and then have a game plan, a predictable system to go out there and for you to attack it as well. So you go ahead and leave with that. That we sell that for $2,500. So $10,000 worth of value. The entire program that we're going to give you for one payment of $997 or 2 payments of $597. This is a $10,000 value. This is specifically built for your group here as well. 30-day money-back guarantee. I want to make it an absolute no-brainer for the select group of you that are really interested in implementing this and diving deeper into creative financing. Because if all this thing did was teach you a new way to buy your own house, or to create one additional deal per year utilizing our averages, $75,000. Imagine adding an additional $75,000 to your bottom line each and every year, or imagine even doing that each and every month. That's a quick way to make consistent 6-figure income from these deals as well. That's smartrealestatecoach.com/Camaplan, because we all know the best investment you can make is certainly in yourself. But I know that maybe the 12-week program is not for everyone, but I know what is for everyone. And that is starting to dive deeper into actually creating some of these deals, and at a bare minimum, diving in and reading our first Amazon best-selling book. So that way you can really grasp all the concepts that we talked about here today. Go ahead and pull out your phone, or again, go to smartrealestatecoach.com/Camaplan. Again, whether it's free or you want to work with us directly, which I run the 3 Pays Apprentice program, 30-day money-back guarantee, all on the same link. You can pull out your phone, grab the QR code, or go to smartrealestatecoach.com/Camaplan. Feel free to go ahead and open up your browser and do that as well. Will, I'll go ahead and kick it back to you in case we have any Q&A.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Zach. A lot of good information there, and it looks like a great deal to me. While we have Zach here, anybody in attendance, please use the Q&A or chat function to ask your questions, whether it be for Zach, or if you have any self-directed IRA questions on how any of this applies to your IRA, please feel free to ask them now. This is the perfect time, because we have Zach here with us right now.
For sure. That's okay. By simply going to that link as well, you can book yourself a free advisory session where we can walk through what your goals are and see if it even makes sense for us to work together, or more importantly, create a strategy for you to actually go out there and implement this as well.
Perfect.
For sure.
We have someone thanking you for the presentation.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you. Yeah, and I see a lot of, obviously different people from different places. We are in 80 plus markets right now. So if you're thinking to yourself, hey, this may not work in my area, I can promise you that we're probably there doing these types of strategies. And whether you're choosing to invest passively or actively, we can certainly work with you on how to actually do that consistently as well. Because when I look at our community members all across the board, the amount of returns that they're getting, whether they're putting no money into them or they're putting some money into them, are going to be drastically higher than if you were investing in any large syndication or anything like that. Plus, you get ownership, depreciation, tax benefits as well. But more importantly, you can make your money go further. Like if you were to go buy one asset today and it needs 20% down, and you had $100,000, well, I could show you how to turn that $100,000 into 3, 5, 10 deals, all by utilizing these strategies.
Great, thanks, Zach. Here comes a question from Anita. Excuse me. I'm new to understanding using your IRA for investments. So you can sell an income property that was purchased with the IRA. So your IRA can sell a property that it has purchased, if it was receiving income, or if you were just doing a buy and hold and you sold it. If your IRA purchased it, it's just like purchasing, shares of a stock. It's no different from that. A property is just an asset within the account. There are some rules to that, and we can go over that in specific if you'd like. I'm more than happy to speak with you over the phone on prohibited transactions and the whole self-directed investment process. But yes, you can purchase a property and then turn around and sell that within your IRA. Thank you for the question, Anita.
Love it.
All
Yeah,
right.
so from our world, we always say if you have enough income coming in where you don't need the money to live off of, then utilizing Camaplan and those self-directed IRAs are a great opportunity when it comes to long-term wealth building. So there's 100% a strategy in regards to that. As I was showing you, that's what we did originally with a 4-family that we bought.
Amazing. A lot of good information here today, and it looks like that may be all of the questions we have at the moment. But if anybody's watching this or watching this live now and just hasn't thought of a question yet, or is watching this in this recording in the future and wasn't able to attend this live with us, please go to smartrealestatecoach.com and reach out to Zach and his team. It sounds like there's a lot of good value here. So and if you have any questions about self-direction, always feel free to call Camaplan. And I want to thank you, Zach, for your time, of course, and all of the information you gave to us today. And I want to thank everybody in attendance for coming out and listening to the presentation.
Yeah, Will, Camaplan, thank you guys very much. Thank you, each and every one of you that attended. I certainly look forward to spending some time with you guys here in the near future. At a bare minimum, go ahead, grab the free material, start diving into the books, and then we can always chat further from there. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have an awesome rest of your week.
Likewise, you do the same. Take care, everyone.